So what am I gonna do? Make pumpkin muffins. What the heck, why not? Take my basic recipe that I'm always talking about. Oh, okay. We'll need a cup of all-purpose as we go through this line again. I planned to make cookies, but I didn't get the butter up, and I'm gonna have to take it out tonight for tomorrow. Half a cup of whole wheat, but that's what I plan to do, is make some cookies tomorrow. I think I have everything for the cookies tomorrow. But I just don't want to waste this pumpkin, so I'm going to put it to use. This is how I get things done. All right, the third brand. All right, I'm going to use wheat bran today. I had to go to the butcher today, and I had to pick up some stuff today. Okay, as I march back and forth, fourth of a cup of sugar. You know what I forgot? The brown sugar. That's what I'm missing. Did you like that storm that we had come marching across? I did not believe it. We were in single digits. It was really, really cold. Fourth of a cup. I'm using dark brown. Dark brown I usually use when I make pumpkin pies, so it should work with this. See, I had these leftover bits and pieces of stuff from the holidays of Thanksgiving, and I don't want to waste any of it. So I just said, I'm going to put, I don't have enough to make cookies and stuff on it. I wonder if I can make, oh, that'd be interesting. I am doing well, thank you. I just thought of an idea. I wonder, could we make, now I know about apple brownies, blondies, which are brownies without chocolate. And then I know there's chocolate brownies. I wonder, that would be interesting, I have to say. I'm getting an idea. My children, my family goes, oh God, she's got an idea. Hello, everybody. Okay. Where am I? The wheat germ, yeah. I'm gonna put some wheat germ in here, 2 tablespoons. This is my basic recipe for muffins that I like very, very much. And you'd think as much as I use it, I would remember it, but I don't. Okay. Yesterday I showed you how to make, where did I put it? Oh, here it is. I showed you how to make your allspice. What are you talking about? Oh, well, sometimes I lose you guys. All right, I taught you how to make pumpkin spice. I have mine here. We're going to use 2 teaspoons of pumpkin spice in here. Since we're making pumpkin muffins, this will give it great flavor, and it will be delicious. Oh, God. All right, we need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Now here I go through my famous speech. After you add the baking powder, if you're using bought baking powder, you're going to have to add a teaspoon of baking soda. I've already explained to you why I refuse to use it. I wonder if we could make pumpkin brownies. Hey, we've got the nuts. I've got the I'm going to try that. Okay, I'll open another jar just so I can try to make pumpkin brownies. But tomorrow I want to make some cookies, some different cookies. I haven't had these before, so it'll be something new. And a half a teaspoon of salt. So these ideas just go in my head, and my mother would always yell at me. But anyway, it's a good idea. It's in my head. I'm going to try it. I'm definitely putting nuts in this. Okay, we have to mix this up. I usually use my hand anyway. Oh, I'm telling you. I'm from America. A beer a day can eat the brain and holes into your brains. What are you talking about? Oh, the 50s were really nice. The 50s and early 60s before Jane Fonda and everything went crazy. It's been going crazy ever since. Okay, you know what I forgot? My knife and cutting board. I brought the nuts out. I did not bring the cutting board and the knife. Let me go get it. Now I'm using walnuts because I'm in New York, but if I was in Texas, I would be using pecans. Okay, but if I make brownies, I might use pecans to sort of swing it to the southern that I know so well. Hey, you have to admit it sounds good. So I'm going to make sure I get everything just so I can make those brownies and see how pumpkin brownies go. I have an apple brownie, but the person who gave me the recipe, it's too moist. Hi, London. So that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to try new brown. But anyway, hers was too much on the doughy side, which took away from brownies. So I had to change the recipe and increase the flour. But they're really good apple brownies. But I think I'm going to try making pumpkin brownies. Now you need 2/3 of a cup of nuts. I happen to like nuts. And like they say, these are seeds. And seeds keep cancer away. So you should be conservative about, make sure you get more nuts in the house. Not the loony bin ones, the ones you eat. Thank you. Absolutely no reason at all, because I'm curious. About what? Old? Yeah, I'm 72, and in 3 months I'm going to be 73. Oh, I have great news. I've been talking about nutrition and your skin and how it looks and all. A doctor came on and said if your digestive system is messed up, as you age, you get black spots and all sorts of spots on your skin. And I've been talking about nutrition all this time, sitting there saying in the colon and stuff has to be clean. So if you want to know how dirty your colon is, your skin will show as you get older. I mean, I've been saying, everybody's probably saying, oh, she's stupid, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Hey, it's coming out. I love that. And he says too much water is bad for you. But I created this. This is what this guy said. I created this thing, and it will purge. Everybody's looking for a quick fix. Believe you me, it doesn't work. All right, we got 2/3 of a cup of nuts in here. And we'll move to the liquid. Hi. Yes, I'm living in New York, but I was raised in Texas, but born in Putnam, Connecticut, because my father was in the military. My brother was born in Illinois. My older brother, my younger brother, was born in Three Rivers, Texas, and I was born in Connecticut. Military life. When you have parents like that, you get born everywhere. Okay, 2 eggs. You're probably saying, you're making a lot of muffins. Yeah, well, I use them as snacks, breakfast, and everything else. These are so nutritious. I mean, I've got everything in them. There isn't anything I'm not missing in them. So they're very healthy. That's why I do them the way I do them. And this has become a favorite recipe that, oh, we can just change this recipe all over the place. All right, how much? All right, we're gonna need a 1/2 cup pumpkin, I think. I don't want the juice, I want the pumpkin. See, I told you I canned. A group of Christian scholars and social critics concluded that this... You want the original Bible? Get the... I have it. It's 1/3 of the book is missing, if you must know. I've already have that. This is approximately pumpkin, just a little over a half. Okay, but that's what I have left over, so that's what we're going to use. Now we have to add oil into this, and this I am using sunflower oil on this. I just feel the pumpkin's sunny, why not do this? Okay, so this is how I'm going today. 1/3 cup. Now, what am I going to do with the liquid from the canned pumpkin? I am going to save this and cook with it. So I'm going to get everything out of my canned pumpkin because I'm not throwing this away. Okay. Let me clean my mess up. And then we'll start putting this together. Now we're using the pumpkin spice. And you strain the pumpkin because we just don't want that much liquid in it, so we're going to sit there and do it like this. Yes, it is one. I'm very careful with the oils I use. So it was almost 3/4 of a cup of pumpkin. I'm actually adding more pumpkin than my regular recipe calls for. And because we use 2 teaspoons of pumpkin spice, it's going to help make it almost taste like a pumpkin pie. At least the flavor will get you going, which I think is good. Oh, I hope that's enough, or I'm going to have to use some liquid. Now, when you think about this basic recipe, it's very nutritious. You've got your oils in it, you've got your B's, you've got your minerals, you've got your acids in it. I mean, you really can't go wrong with this recipe. I think I'm going to have to add, fingers crossed, okay, that this comes out. If yours is a little too dry, you may add. But when you think about this, I have covered all the nutrients. This is why this recipe is so good, and it's so versatile with what you can do with it. And I always make sure I add those nuts in because they are seeds and they prevent cancer. Nobody wants cancer. I tell you, when that guy sat there and said what he said about the colon, and if you don't have a clean colon as you get older, you get these black spots, brown spots all over the place, I fell out laughing because I said nobody believes, but that's a very important that's a very important area because that's where your nutrients go. So if it's dirty, that's why your skin's breaking out, because it can't clean itself and you can't get the nutrients, so then you end up with diseases because the body is not working right. And everybody said, oh, she's making fun of that end. I mean, doctors could sit there and you can go for a colon this and a colon that. If you're not eating well, I got that man in the store, man, he was complaining. He said, I worked in the office and now I have these very problems. And I was saying, you got to clean your colon. And he thought I was stupid. I didn't know what I was talking about. So it was something he just had to deal with now, you know. I don't. It's his body. It was sad. He said, I can't have hamburgers anymore. I got to eat all this. I'm not going to, he used the SHIT word. He was really mad. He said, I hate getting old. And I'm saying to myself, you brought yourself to that point. Nobody else did. You did what you wanted. You didn't care for the body. And now you pay the price. The body's going to make you pay. I mean, we can't walk away from it. Body gets the last word. Like my grandmother said, your body's going to remember everything you've done to it. And when you get old, he's going to make you pay left and right. That scared me. I said I was going to be good. This body was going to have, we're only going to make 10 of these. It seems when I add certain stuff, we get less. When I add other stuff, we get more. Well, anyway, it's okay. As long as they're good, right? That's all that matters. Now, do not, and I mean do not, add water to your empty ones if you've already greased them, because if you do that, you can put too much moisture in there and then these are not going to come out right. It's better that you just take an SOS and clean it after you're done when you're washing them. Okay, we got 20 minutes, so that'll be 11, because I got 9 for the hour, 9 minus 11, yeah, 11 after the hour, I'll be done. That's it. And I am definitely going to have to try one of these. We don't know how good they're going to come out, but we're going to find out. I don't know. I'll see what everybody's been writing since I'm trying to make pumpkin muffins. But while I was doing that, I got this great idea. Now I've got some more canned pumpkin in there, and I'm saying, I'm going to be making cookies. I know how to make brownies and blondies and apple brownies. These are 3 brand brownies that are known. The blondies are actually brownies without the chocolate in it. So I'm saying, well, if you use apples, why can't I make a pumpkin brownie? So that I'm going to buy the stuff, and next week play in the kitchen again and try some ideas, see how it comes out. But that's what I'm thinking about doing, is actually making pumpkin brownies. I think I would toast pecans with it because I want it to be more southern. So I will roast the pecans, I think, to put into that. And let's see, do I want to add milk or buttermilk? I'll have to think of which one I want to add with it, maybe yogurt or something. And I'm going to try it, except that these brownies will not be in a chocolate color. They'll be known as blondies because they'll be light. Came out very nice. the lamb, oh, we enjoyed that. And I was a little hesitant about making the one with the chicken and the citrus salsa. And that came out nice too, so I was floored by that as well. But that came out very nice. Hi from Colombia. Hi from America. Oh my goodness. Getting ready? Okay. Well, I am making an attempt at pumpkin muffins. Now I'm thinking about making pumpkin brownies next week. So anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing, trying. Hello from Maine. Who's this? Hello from Maine. Hi, England. Well, this is from New York. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be in Maine in about 5 months. Let me lock the door. I don't want it to go over.
Before you lock it, just I see there's mail.
All right. How cold is it in Maine? It must be. Hi from, hi England, Connecticut, my birthing state. Yeah. How cold is it in Maine? God, we were in single digits, teens. I don't even want to look at the phone to see what the weather is right now. Okay, hold on. Thank you. You know what I love about mail? I don't. It's bills. Oh, one below. Ugh, ugh, that's cold. Okay. I'm a good one. I love spending money. Don't give me a credit card. I'm always in trouble. And, but when the bills come in, I like to run. I'm a good woman. Hi, from Germany. Oh my goodness. What time is it over there? Oh, 1 Celsius. Well, I like winter better than summer. Switzerland. Okay. To everybody. 19 to 12. That's 7:56. Okay. PM. 7:56. I'd be asleep at that time. Is something burn? No. Okay. What I smell is the oil on the two that I didn't have anything in. Well, anyway, that's what we're going to have. But anyway, watch for me next week because I am definitely buying stuff so I can try to make the brownies. I don't know if I should use milk. I'm definitely not putting chocolate in them, so they're going to have like an orange color to them. But I do want toasted pecans with it. I'm thinking about, I'd like to put, maybe I might have to put milk in it because the discard or the buttermilk or something might be too strong for it, but something that I'm thinking about doing, which I think would be very interesting. But I'll just have to wait and see. No, this is actually, I have leftover pumpkin that I had canned. I used part of it for Thanksgiving, so I decided that I'm going to finish the jar up today. So I said, I have a basic muffin recipe that's very nutritious. So I said, in place of, I'm going to add, let's see, I said I'm going to use the pumpkin in it, and I'm going to sit there and put some walnuts in it. But next week I'm thinking about opening another jar that I can and sit there trying making brownies, but make it with pumpkin instead of apple or chocolate or blondie. Could we do it that way? What's my biggest secret? A message that I gave my future husband. No introduction. Oh, okay. For Christmas, no, the cookies I want to make are a recipe that I found. They have some ginger in them. And what else do they have in it? Something else. It's just the combination, but not Christmas cookies, no. I like to be different. I know. It does sound good, doesn't it? Pumpkin muffins. I said I haven't seen anybody recommend using pumpkin, but the only reason I decided to do it was because I had leftovers. I mean, I used pomegranates in place of nuts when I made the pomegranates. So I just go in different directions. Ah, my sons were born in Brooklyn. Hi, Chris Willis. Oh, coffee. I have to wait for my coffee to come in. I was going to show you another coffee recipe, but I drank all the coffee that I had. Well, it's actually chicory root. And so I have to wait till my order comes in. And because it's the holidays, it's going to take longer for it to get in. So there's nothing I can do. I plan to show you another coffee. I got a whole coffee cookbook. They have iced coffee. They have hot coffee. They have all kinds of coffee. I found a pina colada and it has liquor in it. I said, oh, I'm going to have to try this in the summer. Listen, I was just out in it. I had to run to the butcher. It was so cold. I said, I'm not waiting for the buses. I know I should drive, but I'm a bad driver. So I had to wait for the taxi out there. And I said, please wait. You're going to take me right back home. I'm not going to stay out there. So we're waiting for these things. We have 11 minutes to go. It's only been 9. So, do you want me to stay on, or would you like me to turn back on in about 15 minutes? I'll give you a chance on that. What time is it in Europe? I'd like to know. 20. God. I get cold thinking about it. So anyway, now all of you know what I'm doing. I should clean up my mess is what I should do. $7 p.m. in England. Okay, that's 7 p.m. You're 5 hours ahead of me. No, they're finding out now stuff that I had been talking about for years. What has happened is they found out the colon gets dirty with the chemicals and stuff I've talked about them. They say, well, this chemical, we only put a little bit in and the body will pass it, but they make the mistake that when you buy these things 12 a.m., oh yeah, we're way off on time there. No, it's what you eat. See, the body is very, very picky. If you sit there and eat something that only has a few nutrients, the other ones aren't going to be able to work that well, especially if the colon is not cleaned and healthy. Now, if you eat healthy all your life, your skin as you age might get thin, but you've seen women with dark blotches, or you see older women and they have a lot of brown spots. They start putting foundations and stuff on to cover all this up. Rare Days 2767. It can't. I think this is German that I'm reading. I'm not sure. No, I got my cats and my sons. Okay. You have to wipe everything off before you put it up. So it's the colon. Your colon, through the years, these chemicals adhere to your walls, and then you can't sit there and absorb the food properly. And then as you age, you'll notice you end up with these spots on you. That's why women wear makeup. They're hiding. Hello. And covering up. I decided at a young age, when I got away from my mother that I felt in my body, that in my very being is what I should say, in my very being, that age does not mean sickness. What is it like? Well, I can state how I feel. I can walk down the street without being questioned unless I've broken the law. I can vote the direction I want. Nobody has to tell me. I was raised in a conservative home where I took responsibilities for my actions. I have a right to religion, to the religion of my choice. I can believe the way I want to. I can travel, and I don't need IDs. When they do now, you're going to get on a plane because of everything that's gone on. But I have the freedom to move and to be. It's in a state of being, I guess. Oh, okay, thank you. It looked like it was German because I'd assumed it was a friend of my husband's. He met her in the hospital when she was real sick, and he cared for her. And she used to have us to dinner. And she didn't know that I didn't drink. A lot of people found that out. I said, I don't drink. She says, go ahead, I'll give you just a little. And well, I had to get up and go to the bathroom, and I fell over onto her plants. I told her I don't drink. So every time I went there, she made sure I had water after that. Because I just don't, I don't. I mean, I'll taste a wine or something that if I'm cooking with and I want to know the flavor of it, something like that. We were all like that, man. But my mother was tyrannical. I mean, she whipped, I think she'd hit a cop, That's my mother. When I travel, I was usually with my husband or my parents. I never actually traveled on my own out of the country. So, but when we went, like if we went to a country and the women didn't wear shorts and stuff, I would have to go. As a little girl, I had to have my socks, shoes, and I had to wear petticoats and dresses and carry my little purse, though it didn't have anything in it but a hanky. I don't know what you're talking about. CJ Tacoma 22. Sorry, I'm losing you on that. So anyway, and when I got older and I went, I had to wear stockings and heels and dress appropriately with hats and stuff, because in their country, when you go there, you can't go and be an American and be in sweatpants and stuff like that. And at the time when I was traveling, women didn't wear pants. We had to wear dresses. Look, I am not into national politics and stuff. I'm home. I'm staying close to home, as they say. I don't know, and I don't watch stuff like that. Matter of fact, I didn't even know. My son set up YouTube. He said, Mommy, when I got a Facebook page, he sat there and said, I'm going to set you up with a YouTube. I said, what am I going to do? And he set me up on an Instagram account. I said, what is all this stuff? I didn't even start doing this until 2 years ago. So I don't know. Make sure you have your papers in order if you're coming to America. Yes, we're waiting for the muffins to come out. We're trying to see if we can make pumpkin muffins out of my basics. Okay, we got 3 minutes left. I'm gonna need a rack, clean the counter. But next week, like I said, I'm going to open another jar and probably have to make more. I hope I can use the whole jar. I am going to try to make pumpkin brownies. Something I want to learn to do is make our Armenian needle lace. We know it as not lace here. That's what I'm trying to do. To a Karen. San Francisco. I have a girlfriend not far from there, but she's angry with me right now. She undid Facebook. We can't talk right now, but I still send her messages. She'll get over herself and call back. No. Oh, 67, that's young. When you get my age, believe you me, at 72, you start saying, unless you're older than me, you're young. Those muffins on the stove last week? Banned? I made them last week. Okay. Yeah, I think I made, what did I make? Pomegranate coconut. And I used zest and orange in it. And what did I make before? Oh, heaven knows what I make. 1 more minute and I will check and we'll see if they're done. Mr. Palade? Hi. No, they've got whole wheat on them. Because I use whole wheat, my muffins are darker. They are more brown. No, I do not use drugs, and I do not burn my muffins. Whoever you were talking to about that, that was not me. I burn a muffin, it's because I wasn't paying attention. Ooh, take your glasses off, Sandra. Here they are, once again. See? Why would you even think that I would do drugs? I only mentioned it when it happened in that demon, and I never touched drugs again. That was only marijuana. It's just like I tried a week of drinking liquor. Man, I saw the toilet more times than not. Upchucking everything. Yeah, God knows the truth. Now here's one for you. Let's say it's Judgment Day. All right? It's Judgment Day. We're all lined up. God's going to talk to each one of us. He's going to ask you, why did you do what you did? What would be your answer? I know there's only one answer you can give. I just want to see what you come up with. Let's see if any of you can come up with an answer on that. Now picture yourself, you're before God. You think about everything that you've done. He's going to ask you one word, why? What is going to be your answer? We're going to have to try one of these. See, I don't burn my muffins. Okay, so you would sit there and say you're very sorry. But is that a real answer? You think about it. That sounds like you're sitting there saying, I'm sorry, but I'll tell you what the answer is, so only one of you did this. The only answer you can say is because I wanted to. Because you have the choice to forgive, or you have the right for karma to make people pay for what they've done to you. So if they kill you, you're going to kill them in another life. We're trying pumpkin muffins. I've never made them before, but I had leftover pumpkin. That's the answer, because if I go before God and he says, all right, why did you do this, this, and this? Believe me, there's no saint sitting here. Okay? I've had my days. I can't say, well, they did this to me, so so I had to do it back to them. And then God could sit there and say, didn't I teach you the law of grace? That was a crumb that went down the wrong hole. You see, you can't deny it. You'd have to sit there and say, yes. I said, I am from New York. So the only thing I could ever say, do a backflip, you don't even want to answer. The real answer is that everything is a choice in your life. Like, you have a choice to sit here and watch America's Home Cooking or not. If you don't want to learn, you walk away. Just as simple as that. Or you could stay. You can see somebody who's fallen. You could put your camera out and say, I'm going to take a picture of this so I'll get famous. Or you could sit there and say, I'm going to help that person. You see? If there's a fight going on and somebody's getting hurt, everybody pulls their phone out and goes, I'm going to get this. So they can put it on, and I'm some big famous person. The biggest person would be the one who sits there and helps to break it up. There's a choice. So you have a choice to stand by and watch it, or you have a choice to stop it. One or the other. These are choices that we make. So if you sit there and somebody gives you a gift and you throw it out behind their back, and that person says, why didn't you wear the outfit that I got? What are you going to do? You lie and say, well, I lost it, or it didn't fit, when you really threw it out? You see, you have a choice on everything you do. And that's the question when he says, why? So if you forgive, you're in the grace, the law of grace. You move forward, closer to God. If you sit there and do karma, you slip, because you say, this is where the eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth comes in. Now, in my country, and I'm going to hit a very sensitive topic with a lot of people, immigration. The law in the United States is point blank. The Constitution is for the American people. You have to be an American. Now, if you are here illegally, in other words, you come over the border, or you come in on a visa and you let it expire and you spend all the time here, you're not an American. You cannot sit there and claim any freedoms or anything that we have. So if you interfere, and they don't know this, but it's on the law. These are things I was taught in school. Number one is that you do not get between the law and the person they're going after. If you do, you can be arrested and you can be charged. So if I saw something like that, there is nothing I can do. I have to step away because I have to stay within the law. But if I see somebody hurt, I saw a woman crying down the street, and I was pressed for time, but I gave her the time. What she needed was a hug, and she needed somebody to listen to her. And that's what I do. I've had people or children that haven't quite had enough money or something, and they wanted something, I help. If somebody needs something, I help as much as I can. This comes from my mother. She taught me this, that we help each other, you see. But this is the law of grace, and then you have the law of karma. So if somebody's angry with me, get over it, because I'm not going to carry it. I'm not going to get in an argument with it or anything else. So you have a choice. That's why I say, what would be your answer? The only answer I could say is because I wanted to. I'm not talking about that. I said I am using that as an example, how the laws work, law of karma and the law of grace. This is what I'm talking about. I'm not getting into a political immigration. I know that there are rules and regulations, and I also know there's law of the karma and the law of grace. The people that are, what I'm seeing, I see a lot of karma. What's ever going on with them, what's ever happened in the past is now coming and it's being reversed. I'd rather keep my head above it instead of getting involved. And that's what it's about. Now let's try these muffins. So here's the inside. Don't they look nice? Now we're going to try them. These are good. Better than I thought. I would definitely, I don't know how it's going to taste with baking soda. I wish you could make your own baking powder. If you make these and use baking soda, I can't guarantee what they're going to taste like. That's all right. I am 72 and I will be 73 in March. And it's all right. I was only using it because that's going on now. So when you see all of that going on, there's a lot of karma there. I just don't want to get down to that level. I try to open my head above it. So I stay out of it. I said, no, I am not dealing with this. A lot of people that you think are innocent are not as innocent as you think. Oh, you're young at 30. God, when I was 30, I had babies. Well, how old is dirt? That makes you about 5,000 years old. That's your whole life ahead of you. I am in New York. I was raised in Texas, born in Connecticut. These are muffins. And the only reason I made these was because I had leftover pumpkin. Texas, I do. Anyway, guys, these are much better. But I'm worried about if you use baking soda, it might interfere with the taste of the allspice. You could try it. I don't know if it'll work, but add 3 teaspoons of baking powder and leave that baking soda off if you're using bought baking powder and see if it's better. Because I don't want I know the taste of the baking soda would interfere with this taste, and that's what I don't want you to use. 1 a.m., boy, that's early. South Carolina. I drove through there with my husband. I am doing very well. Okay, that sounds like a southern phrase. Quinoperia 4775. I did when I was a little girl. I found the Santa Claus was my mommy and daddy. That's a southern phrase when you said that. Mighty fine. Man, that is so southern. That was like that guy that tried to pick me up when I was in my husband's Super Bee 383 engine. I left him in the dust. No, my husband was British. My father was Korean. He was a Korean veteran. I just missed World War II. But our children's godparent, one of them was in World War II. He was in France. I need some of these cookbooks from other countries translated into English so I can make them. Well, let's see. There is some British. I have a lot of Italian, a little bit of French, a little bit of Irish, and English. Okay. So now that we know these are delicious, I've got to go clean my mess up. But I want all of you. Look for me next week. We're going to try to make pumpkin brownies, okay? I have a few favorite dishes. Filet mignon. Oh, God. That is delicious. I love blueberry pie. I don't make it very often or I'll eat the whole pie. And I'd be this big. And another one is a beef standing rib roast with a blanket. I'm sorry. What? I just went to say happy birthday and it just went out. It just went zip right through. Yeah, I cooked some vegetarian foods. I just had done a mushroom lasagna. I have made eggplant parmesan. Oh, I love my eggplant parmesan. I was looking at another recipe. They said was for vegetarian, but I put some meat in it. Nothing much. As the movie says, baby, it's cold outside. No, thank you. Star-Light Murphy, thank you for subscribing. Okay, now I'm going to explain something to all of you if you don't know it. You subscribe, right? You get to see a lot of videos, but there's some videos you cannot see. That's because those are for people who join. It's a level that you go into. You're welcome, SJ. Okay. Hello! A woman who loves being a woman instead of trying to be a man. Okay? Now, you would have to find what works for you. Finding a woman. What do you look for her? And remember, you're the man of the house. She might be underneath you and she takes care of the children in the household, but the protection and everything you have to deal with. Someone's from Texas, that's fine. I have no problem with that. Yes, I want to make cookies next week, but I'm also going to try making a recipe. I mean, I was just making the brownies, and all of a sudden I got this concocted idea that I'm going to make pumpkin brownies. But I am making some cookies tomorrow. I'm going to take the butter out tonight because it's so cold it's going to take a while. So there'll be cookies tomorrow. I don't know what half these people talk about, but I don't think it's all very clean. But anyway, so listen, I'm going to let you go. But if you see me tomorrow, I'll be making cookies. If the weather's nice enough. If the wind blows, you might not be able to see. Okay. Grandpa died for British United. Yeah, a lot of people died. Excuse me? The Bible does talk about karma. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean, but it does mention it. Cain and Abel, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. This is karma that you're talking about. That's called the law of karma. So the Bible does mention it, though you might not understand it. And Christ was showing us when he said turn the cheek, he's talking about the law of grace. Read your Bible, you'll know. That's right. Reaping what you sow is karma. I'm not going to argue with you on that point. You could nitpick it until you're blue in the face. I'm not going to go down your road in that. There's a lot more in there, but you sticking to the narrow frame here. There's a bigger picture here. Because I'd ask you this question and think about it very carefully. Cain and Abel, all right? One brother kills the other. Where is the justice for the one who got killed? Come on. Where is it? Where would be his justice? There wouldn't be any because he's dead. And the other one gets to stay with his family and live a whole life, right? This is where there's a karma. Because a brother who was killed and his life was shortened and he didn't get to live his life goes on the other side and he's angry. Because he's seeing his brothers having a good life and he can't. And he sees the sorrow of his family left behind. They're going to have to come back in another life called reincarnation. Now, they can come back as brothers, brother and sister, two friends, or whatever. They come in any combination, but they're going to know each other. Now, the one who died has the choice of the law of grace of forgiving, or he has a law of karma. I'm going to kill you like you killed me in that life. The thing is that we have a grace is that God doesn't let us remember from one life to another, which is nice, except for the people who can handle it. Then what he does is you have a choice, the law of grace or the law of karma. So you have to understand that. If you can't understand that, then you lose it. I had to learn the law of grace and the law of karma. I had to learn about reincarnation. I had to learn that there were different kingdoms and that the planets are very much alive, though not in the way that we know it. And I had to learn all this. And as I learned all of this, this became like this. And then when I was up here in the 60s, they had found jewelry with such fine pinholes of necklaces that they couldn't make it at that time. We do it now, we can do it with a laser. So that meant at that time when that jewelry that they found in antiques had the skills to do it. So then opened up another whole thing for me as well. Then that realized that We had higher civilizations because we were closer to God. And we fell very hard. And I don't think it was an apple. What I think really happened with Cain and Abel is, I'm going to go back to Cain and Abel now, is that they said one had offered fruit and grains, right? And the other one had animals that they slaughtered. God did not accept the ones with the animals. He took the ones with the grains and the fruits and stuff. You know, I'm thinking, this is just me putting what I know together. You sit there and you see dinosaurs. Now they found T-Rex, right? They say it's this big dinosaur, right? But yet, they said somewhere along the line, they found mature ones that were only about this big, very small dinosaurs. So how did they go from here to gigantic ones? Well, the only way that this could happen would be if they were gene splicing of what we're doing today. Then if they were changing the animals that God created and making new breeds and all, and that's what they, one of the brothers was offering at that time, that's why God wouldn't accept it, because you were destroying his creation. But yet he accepted the food that was grown. You see? So I think that was what, now this is my, like I said, this is my personal opinion. This is what I think really happened. And because they found fully mature T-Rexes that were small, and then they were huge, would have meant, going back to Cain and Abel, with what he was offering were crossbreeding and gene splicing and creating new creations. And they did that with the T-Rex. And I think that's what happened. And all of that we did, God finally had enough, and he had to destroy the world. And that's what he did with the flood. Now, this is my personal belief. I'm not telling you. It makes sense to me. When I listen and I read the Bible and I watch things, I said, we're going back to doing the same crap we did then. We are not learning. We are not learning anything. And I can see it. And he's not going to flood the earth. No, he's going to put us on fire. And we're going to burn. He is going to ash this earth. Now, if any of us survive that, I don't know how we will. I really don't. And then the Bible talks on top of it that we are going to be on the buffet table. And you know who's going to be eating? The animals, us. We're doing this to ourselves and crossing these genes and stuff. And I don't like what I see. And I think it's wrong. I know a lot of people leave because they can't deal with it, but that's okay. So anyway, that's how I perceive Cain and Abel and what they did. But I'm going to get off here. So don't preach the Bible to me, okay? I know it a lot. I have spent my time in Bible study and everything else. Like I said, when I went to school, I had school Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then after school, Monday through Friday, and then all during the summer. So I've learned a lot, and it's not always in one direction. If I wasn't cooking, I was learning music. I was learning to play an instrument. I was learning, it was one thing after another. My parents made sure that my brothers and I were well versed. Like, you can sit there and preach. I said, I am talking from today. I was playing around with leftover pumpkin and we made pumpkin muffins. Look, you guys, I know you can turn words around and everything else. All right? I don't care. I said something, explained how I see it and how I put pieces together. And I watch things that happen, and I have read. I have a very open mind. But when I hear people nitpick and try to turn things around, you can't. You cannot tell me that I haven't seen a demon, because I have. And it scared the hell out of me. I can't sit there and say Christ never existed, because I've seen him. I was at his feet crying because I was dying. You can't tell me there aren't angels and they're not little babies flying with wings. These are big, massive people. Well, angels, they're not people, they're angels. You can't tell me, because I've seen them. All right? Because I've seen so much and I have learned so much. Nothing you could say is going to change me from that. I'm well established in it. Okay? So listen, on that note, I'm going to let all of you go. I have got a kitchen to clean up now that I have cooked. Okay? And remember, next week, if you want to see if we can make pumpkin brownies, we'll swing in that direction. But I want all of you to take care. The holidays are getting crazy and there's more speed on lines and people are a little more short than normal because they're tired getting ready for the holidays. I want you to take a breath before you lose your temper. Be patient, and remember, there are 12 days of Christmas. You don't have to get everything done on the 25th. Christmas goes from December 25th to January 6th. So you have a good 12 days of Christmas. Okay? So if you don't get it on the first day, you have 11 more days to give the gifts out. Okay? So take care. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you definitely. Wait a minute. Yeah, I have to go shopping to get the stuff for those brownies I'm thinking of. Anyway, I'll see you. Take care. Bye-bye.